the first table talk of 2022.
Well, that's kind of scary.
It is.
I didn't think about it that way.
It is.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting it's January.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
It's just another day.
Yeah, I know.
Just
It's
another
been a
day.
crazy couple of weeks, but Christmas was good. Had a lot of great things going on and services, and then just the last week of relaxing, being with family. It's always good, and then gearing up for the new year.
Yep,
And all
getting
that
ready.
comes with it.
Lots of new things, dreaming.
Yes, exactly. Did you eat a lot of cookies?
Yeah,
I did too.
me too.
They're really good. And pumpkin roll, and then pumpkin pie.
Oh, I know
too.
you love your pumpkin.
All the
you
pumpkin.
and your pumpkin.
Pumpkin
It
coffee.
never goes away.
It does not.
January, February, March, all 12 months.
I freeze it, you know. It goes in my freezer.
I'm sure it stays nice and fresh in the freezer.
It does. It's
Well, you got
very festive.
You got a whole another 9 months till pumpkin season.
Exactly, and now we're just in the winter time, so.
Farm show next week?
Oh, I didn't know that.
You should
My
go.
First, I do. I need it. This is a cultural experience for me.
Yeah, but go during the week.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say that would
You
be
can't even move on the weekends.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some snow too.
It's
So.
it's kind of like Murphy's
I'm
Law.
dreaming of a white January.
So it's Murphy's Law that Farm Show week we always get snow.
Okay,
So we'll see if it
we'll see.
yeah.
But now I'm here, so my kind of belief is that wherever I go, the snow does not.
Oh, well then you have to leave.
Because it's snowing.
I'm just kidding. I love
It's snowing in Virginia this week.
Yeah, and Tennessee
They're
is
getting
snowing.
bombed, and
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we got nothing. It's just cold.
I know.
Just cold.
Well, it's
Anyway.
getting cold here.
So I'm dreaming to connect to our new series,
Yes,
start dreaming again.
of snow.
Dreaming of snow. That's what I'm dreaming of.
Same.
This
Same.
beginning of January.
I agree.
Yeah. So we celebrated Epiphany.
Yes.
And
Which is actually
Magi.
January 6th.
It's actually January
Which is
6th.
Thursday.
Yeah.
But it's in the middle of the week, so we don't have church on
Yeah,
Thursdays.
if it
Church
happens,
services.
if it happens on a weekend, then we celebrate it that weekend,
Yeah.
but if not, then usually before.
Yes.
So so coming in Magi and King Herod
Mm-hmm.
and and it's funny, as I was like planning the new series that next week we're gonna start with the story of Joseph in Genesis. And then I was like, oh no, but Epiphany's this week, and then we're just at baptism and all, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like the story of dreams, really, like some harmful dreams and then some dreams of warning, like it all connects. So we're just gonna weave it in instead of making its own, making its own thing.
Yeah, it made sense. I liked it. It was a good sermon.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Becca?
Well,
What are you chewing on?
I was in the back doing media, but I did pay attention a bit, and I listened to the podcast, which I will share on Facebook later.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. I like the fact that you tied in like our church community with it and not just made it personal.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that too in the series, just
Yeah.
like the dreams for us locally,
As a community. Yeah, and I think that's good because I feel like our church has gone through a lot of transition in the past 10 years, I think, and there was a time, when we transitioned from Pastor Steve to Pastor Rob, we dreamed, and then COVID happened, and then Rob's like, yeah, I'm gonna retire, and then we're all like, so COVID's here, and we're kind of like in survival mode. We don't really have a pastor right now. We're in the middle of searching for one. So I think people kind of felt a little defeated by just a lot of things going on, and around the world, but also closer to home in our own community.
Yeah, for sure.
The staff are like in survival mode too. So now we're like, I think our church has started to dream again. I mean, because we have a new pastor and we're ready for a new era,
and also it's cool to see that like people have come forth with some new ideas and things. Like we're doing this game night thing every other week that one of our congregation members, Nate, had a passion for an idea. And and then some other things have kind of bubbled up to the surface too. So that's exciting to see that.
I think so.
People, I think, are beginning to be inspired by that. And and those are, I think that's where like the kingdom size, the king size dreams come from. I mean, not specifically about us, but about serving others and being a part of that bigger story.
Yeah, I still think, because you're talking about Herod and his dreams and how he had a specific dream for his legacy.
And we never want to identify with him.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't really want to
identify.
He kind of was a really mean person.
He was like, he was
a murderer.
Oh my gosh, he killed his sons.
He tortured
his
people.
wives.
Didn't he kill John the Baptist and put his head on a platter? Was that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, not that. Not
Oh no, that's the next.
Oh, that's the next Herod.
Sorry,
His son. His son. Okay. Either way, he had a legacy of making a nasty child
yes.
too.
Yeah,
so
it was terrible.
Yeah,
what things that he did.
But I feel like he was pining for a past of when he was great, and then he wanted to make it even better. And he wanted to make it better. And I feel like, you know, sometimes as a person, individually, also even, you know, corporately as a community, sometimes you think, well, it used to be done like this, and I miss the good old days, I miss this, and you forget that things are changing, not in a bad way, but you know, the glory days, I guess it would be, you know. So sometimes it's hard. That could be dangerous when you want to go back to the glory days, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not that things in the past were bad, but dwelling on that can also become dangerous when you want to. So I think maybe that's what Herod was focusing on too, like some of his good times.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And just keeping in the whole idea of keeping in control, and I think that comes with us, whether corporately or individually. That. We wrestle with that. I know I wrestle with that, especially when things feel like they're out of control.
Yeah.
It's like you just want to think harder, you just want to try harder, you want to make it happen and kind of fit maybe the round peg into the square hole type thing. Yeah. Square peg and round hole, round peg and square hole.
Either way
it does not work.
Yeah, depending on the size of the square and
Exactly. So so I think, and that's just the piece that's where we need to let God in.
Yeah.
And I think it's a signal to us, like, to pause and to say, instead of just trying harder to make it, like, is there a warning here?
Yeah.
Is there something to be aware of? Is there a change in direction?
Is the way I'm doing it not the right way? Do I need someone else's input?
Do I need to let go of this completely?
Yeah, and I mean, Herod didn't do bad things. He said he had made
He made a great economy.
Yeah,
and he built roads. He built all these structures and things. People were impressed.
Yeah, I don't want to get into like the politics of Herod's kingdom or whatever, but I'm wondering how it looked. Like, was it all him dictating everything, and you know, not using other people to take on some of that? And I have no idea. I'm not a really good history buff, but I'm just thinking, like, in a church, like, let other people do things, you know. And I think he was afraid to. It seemed like he didn't want that to happen. He wanted all the glory and everything, and leave that legacy.
Well, and what's interesting about that is that the results of a dream on the surface, like, if you stand back from what Herod did, you would say it looks great.
Yeah.
Right? The results are fantastic. Everybody should be happy. Everybody should be joyous.
But they weren't.
And everything should be going super well, and we should applaud him and celebrate that. But then when you zoom in and you get closer, you see that there's corruption underneath. You see that there's
murder,
death underneath. You see that there's the sense of power that's underneath.
Insecurity.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of a warning for us, that even though we might be successful at something, even though a dream may come to fruition, sometimes when you get closer up, it's not what you thought.
Surface.
It's not what you thought.
The surface is not always. That's
true.
true. That's
kind of make something happen.
So the warning signs might be there, but you might say, "No, it's going well. It's really okay." And then
or I just need to push on, and I just need to, go ahead and make this happen. I want this so bad. Has there ever been a time you've wanted something so bad that you would do anything, almost at any cost?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably not answer that on the spot.
No, I'm just thinking. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I want this donut right now, but I didn't really think about that it tastes so good right now that I probably shouldn't be eating 350 calories, just, stuff like that. But that's really, trivial compared to, his dream of biggering the kingdom.
Yeah, but even, just to think of a couple of examples, say in the case of a divorce, doing anything at any cost to get back at your ex.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
to make sure you get the kids.
Yeah.
Like, to do at any cost, to destroy them, to decimate them financially, to do whatever, like, to get what you want. Or to say, hey, I want to, grow this business or this business idea. Like, hey, if it means, just on my taxes, like, we'll kind of put that on the wayside and take that, put some money under the table. Will you do anything? To get in, to do well on your SAT, to get into that school you want to. Are you willing to get into this ring of cheating? We do that. We're drawn into, and it usually doesn't happen like overnight. It's kind of a step-by-step process.
Or the toxic, he was really involved in politics. So he was, Herod was, I'm saying, sorry. And he got so involved in politics and keeping his kingdom, his own position, that he was willing to kill. He didn't take the time to understand who Jesus really was, and it hurt people. It hurt people. You know, ultimately is what happened. But
So what do you think of the magi?
Well, I'm not really sure what to think of them.
It's kind of a weird story.
I like the way that you talked about.
It's kind of a weird
when they
story.
came in and they're like, "Where's this baby, this king?" And everyone's like, "Shh, be quiet.
Right,
Herod's a jerk. You
right,
can't talk like that. He's gonna murder you and that kid."
Right.
I don't know. It's always been a mystery to me, the whole magi and the Epiphany. Yeah, like where did they come from? Why scientifically, what was this star that they followed? Like it's really fascinating to me, but I'm sure there's some historical account of a ginormous star that they followed,
and of all people to come to the Christ child. Like, you know, they weren't Jewish, they weren't like raised in that kind of religion, they weren't from anywhere nearby at all. And he's even, what I didn't mention too, they were probably of a very different ethnicity as well.
Definitely, yeah.
So it just shows you though how, and that's why we call it Epiphany, you know, it's the manifestation of God's promise about bringing the good news to all nations,
right?
Not just the Jewish people, not just the people that have been following.
It is kind of just another example of God gathering people who you don't expect, you know, calling people in, and they were like, they responded to that call, even though it was not normal and not a normal thing to do to follow a star.
Right, right. And the irony was that, you know, they were very rich and they had that comfortable life, but they chose to give that up to pursue this. Who knows? Where is this going to lead us? Who is it going to lead us to? That kind of thing. So I think that's where the hard part, I think for me at least, and I know a lot of people, is the letting go and the trust. You know, when your specific dream or what you thought where you were headed, where it might take you someplace different.
Yeah.
And trust God in that process. That maybe that's the place that you need to be.
Yeah. Joining in that bigger picture.
Yeah.
And they certainly did. I mean, they weren't like main characters, but they knew where they should go. They just responded.
And we don't really know what happened to them.
No.
They just left. They went by.
Did Herod do something bad to them? I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah, we don't have any record, but
No.
it's they just went home by another route, is what Matthew says, and that's kind of it. So it's just fascinating, like what happened when they got home, what happened afterwards.
Who did they tell?
There's stories about that, but just like that impact though, when you know, I mean, I can think of times in my life when I've had a certain dream, and then in the coming weeks we're going to also talk about how sometimes other people will have dreams for you, or other churches will have dreams for what your church should be, or that kind of thing.
Whether they're good or not.
yeah, exactly. And how that's, you know, sometimes that's what leads us off the path. But there's been times that I've thought like, oh, I have this dream to, you know, be this or achieve this or do this, and I believe it's God-centered. I've been in prayer about that. And then it either doesn't happen, or it's like, whoosh, you're on a different path or so. And when I'm in the middle of it, it's like, what is going on? Oh, you know, I'm just so confused. But then now that I look back, I can see God's hand in it.
But I also think that with dreams comes expectations. You have certain expectations that will happen and how it will happen a way that you think it will happen. And sometimes that expectation falls through, and it's how you respond to that. You know.
And perhaps God is protecting us.
Yeah.
Perhaps
really
just like the Magi and just like Joseph, he's protecting us through a dream. It can be a warning. So, okay, cool.
Are we done?
I think we are. We just
nice
little
nice
chatty chat.
chat.
Yeah. So
I'm looking forward to the series. I think it'll be really exciting.
I am too.
So
I love the story of Joseph too.
Yeah, next week is Joseph. All the next couple weeks.
Yep. Up through
Take
Lent.
us through Lent.
The next. Up till March.
That's exciting.
It will. Yeah, and it'd be good to just kind of track through. I think a story, a character in Scripture, and what's really interesting, just to give you a heads up about Joseph, is like he is not this like, you know, superhero, perfect Bible character person. Like he's pretty messed up himself.
I'm pretty sure that's like every character in the Bible.
Exactly. But I think a lot of times we have this idea that, oh, well, the Bible story people, they're fantastic. They're the epitome of what I should be, my model, or whatever. And it's not. Like at the beginning of the story, we'll find out that Joseph totally blows it. Like he messes everything up at the beginning. He does stuff that he should not have done.
It's very relatable.
And so I think it just gives us that permission to say, you know, God can still use that. God can still use me. God can use my broken dreams or my misinterpreted dreams for good.
Or your complete disregard for what God wants.
Yes.
Sometimes that happens.
Yes, exactly. So,
cool.
So dream on this new year and track with us. We're going to be here on Sunday, 11 o'clock, live stream in person. It'll be lots of fun. And
podcasts are always posted online if you can't, if you just want to listen while you're
Yeah,
driving.
check it out.
They're always online on our website, and it's just the actual sermon, so you can just listen to that. Little nuggets of 25 minutes.
There you go. Yeah, awesome.
Commute.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great week, and we'll see you again soon.
Happy New Year.